Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you so much, TEDxNIIT, for having me here. So I have a question to ask each and every one of you. Have you ever had a moment or a situation in which you felt uncomfortable, not capable, overwhelmed, insecure, and possibly invisible? And if you have, I'd like to see a show of hands. Excellent. So I have as well many such moments in my very young life. And today I want to take you through a little bit about my life story of how I not only overcame those moments and overcame those thoughts, but how I made strength, resilience a part of my very being. So that being said, let me start right at the very beginning. My name is Sushma Gaikwad. I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an educationist. I'm married to a wonderful man who is the love of my life. I have a 16-year-old fabulous boy who takes a lot of my time asking me crazy questions. And I run various enterprises as an entrepreneur that I've carefully set up over the past 3 decades. And over the past 3 decades, I've built a life that I can truly say that I am absolutely proud of. Was I always like this? Nah. Was I always as confident as I appear to be? Really not. Was I always in love with the life I lived? Absolutely not. So how was I? I come from a simple middle-class family. I've been loved. And yet, right through my childhood, I felt like I did not belong. For some reason, I was insecure. I could not speak the English language well. You know, in my mind, I thought, if people don't see me, they will not ask me questions. And if they don't ask me questions, I will not have to answer them. And if I don't have to answer them, they will not know that I can't speak English. So what did I do? I just disappeared. I crouched behind my classmates. I hid behind the desk. And I just disappeared. And there was this one moment that really changed my life. And today, I'm going to introduce you to many such moments that were the changing scape of my life. So there was this person who came to me one day and told me that, you know what, you're dumb. You will amount to nothing. You're not capable. I don't even want to know you. I don't know what you're doing here. And I started bawling my eyes out. What I did is ran away from that person. I ran away and went to my playground and sat on my favorite swing. And when I was swinging up and down, all I could do at that point of time is think about how horrible I was. I was thinking about how I don't amount to much. How is it that people don't see me? Why is it that people don't like me? Am I not good enough? Why is this happening only to me? And I was bawling. I must tell you, I was bawling and I was crying, rivulets of tears. And through my sobs came this one little voice, you know, like a feeble voice, saying, you know what? You are much more than that. And I paid attention to that voice. I started listening to that voice a little bit more carefully. And as I listened to it, the voice became louder and louder. And the voice simply said, I am more. I can do more. I can be more. I am not defined by what I think I am. And that's when a light bulb went off. It was like a switch, you know, coming off. You know, sometimes you have those aha moments. That was my switch that came on. And the more I said it, sitting up and down, and this time I was swinging up and down saying, I can do more, I am more, I can be more. And every time I said it, I was moved. completely moved. Moved to a point that I felt courageous. Moved to a point that I could say, you know what? I can do anything I want to be. And then I jumped off that swing. And when I jumped off that swing, I was a brand new person. I stepped off, I started walking, and I'm saying this really with a lot of humility. I started walking towards my future. And what did I do? The first thing I did is I started talking to people. And they were like, oh, are you in this school? They didn't even recognize me because I was so hidden. Can you imagine a tall girl like me was hidden for so many years? I would talk to them. I would learn from them. The more I learned from them, the more I started learning about myself. I asked people for help. They helped me. I started developing my personalities. I started registering for elocutions and debates, and I must tell you, nobody took me. The next year, I was back in line to register for elocution and debate, and again, nobody took me, but that did not deter me. I kept on. And the next thing you know is I became confident. I became everything I wanted to be. And why is that? Because I learned to awaken the warrior within. Now one would think, wow, isn't it lovely? Her life must have been so amazing for the rest of her life till this age of 53. You can actually say you don't look 53, right? I don't look 53, I hope. Okay. So till this age, one would say it was, I had it all and I had it all sorted. But I must tell you, that's not so. By the time I reached a young adulthood, I got myself into a toxic relationship. And in that toxic relationship, I lost myself. I felt insecure. I felt not enough. I felt beaten down, emotionally abused, mentally abused, spiritually abused, and all that abuse got me back right where I started. And I started quoting the thoughts. You know, those lovely thoughts on the swing? I don't amount to much. I am not worthy. I cannot do this. I am not loved. You know what? I deserve to get this type of treatment. And that's really what I thought. And my entire world revolved around that toxic relationship. So much so that I lost myself and I lost my voice and I lost my weight. And there I was, a thin, scrawny me, one fine day, sitting in a room all alone, reeling from a betrayal. And I started thinking again. And that's where I heard that voice that had actually gone into coma all those years. The voice that said, I can do more. I can be more. I am more. And that voice started getting louder and louder, and I got off that sofa and I decided I'm no longer going to go back on that swing of thoughts. I'm going to get back my life. I left that toxic relationship behind. I started a new career, and a career in a brand new medium called the event management industry. And there I was one of the first women. A woman in a world of experiences. A woman in a world surrounded by gentlemen, and I call them gentlemen, who completely catapulted me into my career. They helped me. They enabled me. I saw another part of what a man can be. Loving, joyous, generous, holding my hand every step of the way. All my three bosses were men. And I saw that, oh, you know what? There are wonderful men out there as well. And as I built my career, I saw great amount of respect. And that respect was the respect I saw in my vendors, in my peers, in my clients, and I lived a life completely fulfilled. And that's when I met the love of my life. And I call him the love of my life only because he saw me for who I am, as well as saw me for who I can be. And he has held my hand all through these years, enabling me and being my better half. Of course, when I'm in a crazy mood, I call him my bitter half, but usually he is my better half. And that being said, together we built a family. I gave birth to this lovely boy. Everything was going right. I had a wonderful career, a lovely new business that I had built with my husband. Everything was rocking. And yet, I found couple of months down the line, I could not get out of bed. I just could not move. I had no energy. I felt sad all the time. I used to cry all the time. And I used to feel like I have no purpose. I've lived my life, now what? What next? And when that happened, I went to the doctor. That's the best thing to do, right? When you feel this overwhelming sense of uncontrollable sadness, I went to the doctor. And the doctor sat opposite me and told me, you know what, Sushma? You have got postpartum depression. And I didn't know what that meant. I really didn't know what that meant. I was like, what does that mean? So they said, the doctor told me, you know, it usually happens, it's hormonal, but that will always keep you in a state of sadness. So here are a few medicines. Why don't you do one thing? Take these pills, you will feel better. And you know what? I was sitting opposite that doctor in a chair, and that little voice, who was now dead, I think completely dead, actually said to me, Sushma, you are you. I can do more. I am more. I can be more. And then when I got up, I only thought to myself, you know what? This is crazy. It's like a pattern. Childhood, I got myself down, then I built myself up. Then young adulthood, I went down, and then I built myself up. And now here, I am well into my adulthood. Again, I've gone down. Now I have to look for a permanent solution. I can't just keep going up and down on this Ferris wheel, up and down on that swing. I need to understand myself. I need to find a permanent solution. I need to awaken this warrior and assimilate this warrior in everything I do. So what did I do? I went right from Kanyakumari to Himalayas. I'm not kidding. Right from Kanyakumari to the Himalayas to look for the answer. The answer of how I can assimilate my warrior within into everything I do. I learned. I grew. I met many mystics. I learned many modalities. And after searching and searching and hunting for years, I found the answer. And the answer was within. You know, the amazing thing is we keep looking for answers outside of us, while all the answers are there trapped within us, in knowledge that we have. And the very simple answer was in 4 states. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. 4 states to always ensure that the warrior within us is awakened. Number 1, the state of gratitude. That warrior was always alive when I was in gratitude, happy for all I have in my life, absolutely grateful for the relationships I have, grateful for the air I breathe, grateful for the food I eat. The warrior is always awakened when I am in the state of living in action, not wasting a moment, ensuring every moment is spent driving value to myself and others. That warrior is awakened every time I have clarity. Clarity of where I am, clarity of where I need to be, clarity of my relationships, and most important, clarity of thought. This warrior is always awakened every time I'm in awareness. Awareness of everything around me. Awareness of my feelings. Awareness of others' feelings. Awareness of where others want to go in their lives and the vision that they have. So this warrior is always awakened. And what happened after that? Once I had these 4 keys, my life unleashed. And it has been many, many years now. I travel, I enjoy life, I live life abundantly to a point that you name it, I have a list of places I want to go, and I ensure I go every year. I solo trek, I go on solo treks. There is no fear. There is no fear of judgment. There is no fear of consequences. There is absolutely no fear. Imagine living like that. It's wonderful. And I realize I need to step out of myself. It's no longer only about me. It's about people that we can enable. I grew my companies. I worked with people. Today I'm a leadership coach. I work with CEOs on how they can create life of abundance. And most important, I learn to keep learning every single day of my life. I also invested a lot of time in my relationships. I make sure I spend time with my family, with my friends. I take every call that comes on my mobile. I'm never too busy. You know, we love to say, I'm busy, I'll call you back later. No, I'm never busy, and my friends will stand testimony to the fact that I'm always in their corner. So I have really lived an abundant life, and I treasure it. And the only reason I have lived this abundant life is because I have awakened my warrior within. Isn't that lovely? So we all can awaken that warrior within. Well, who is this warrior? This warrior is the being that is our inner strength and our courage. The one that stands in our corner and shows us the way. This warrior is nothing but our strategist. The one has clarity of the vision of where we want to go in our lives. This warrior is our resilience, who does not quit on us, who is there every step of the way when the going gets tough. And most of all, this warrior is our inner guide. When we stand in our truth, we can truly live a life that is abundant and free. And that being said, my dear friends, I must say that it's time for us to unleash our potential. And these are not just words. I live these words every single day. It's time that we step out, awaken our warrior within. It is time that you awaken your warrior within with the 4 keys that helped me, and maybe discover a few more keys of your own. But this is my life mantra, which is up there on the screen. And I truly believe it. This is my faith. That you know what? The more we become, the more we can do for others. So let's start living a little out of ourselves and out there for other people, and enable them and hold their hands so that they can awaken their warrior within. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure being here.